that you had to have multiple incomes. And he had me doing all sorts of stuff. I would mow the lawns at our properties. I would clean at the back in the day, not like they are now. You used to have to shovel out the dirt at the car washes. I hated it. And that was my first time where I really learned as a young girl that multiple incomes are where it's at. And then secondly, I also learned that working for the man, no matter if he's your father or not, is not the way to go. He used to take all of my money and be like, well, we got to do this here, and we got to do this here, and here's your $5. And I'd be like, time out. That is not what we agreed on. But it didn't matter. So when I found out about the gel, I saw a post from Emily, from Jen, and she had a belt on there, and it was the same belt that I had in college. And so I thought, oh, hey, there's my belt. I'm just scrolling through Facebook. And I click on it because I thought she was selling it, actually. I'm like, why are you selling this belt from 1990 from the Gap? So I'm scrolling through, and she has this like long bio. My ADD's like kicking in, and I'm like, whatever, extra notch. And I'm like, she's selling a used belt? This is awkward. And then it was something about the gel, and I think I literally wrote on there, call me. I'm like, what? So she's like, girl. That's how it started, girl. And my second response was, dude, seriously, what's the deal with your belt and gel? Like, what are you talking about? I didn't even read it. So she goes through and she's telling me, and Jen's got stories. So she is just telling me the story, and I'm doing work, and something about sleep, and okay. And it's sold out a couple times. Now, I'm a pharmaceutical kid, so I'll take a pill to go to sleep, I'll take a pill to wake up. Like, and in the country, that's like how this works. I mean, everybody, you have like a doctor, everyone saves like their medicine and saves their stuff. So, okay, how many times have I called you? Brad's a nurse, and we'll talk about her in a second, but, in Bowie, you're like, oh, did your throat hurt? Hold on, I got amoxicillin. Hold on just a second. I mean, that's just how I grew up. So this homeopathic rub it on your arm thing, I was like, whatever, okay, it works, cool. So she's telling me all about how it's sold out in Highland Park, and I was like, ooh, all the ladies at lunch are taking it? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, score. So I sign up, and I'm like, okay, and when's my gel? We don't have gel. Okay. So, I'm fine. Okay. So she's going on, she's telling me, and it's an MLM, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. I've never been scared of 100% commission, so I was like, okay, whatever. Then you can't get it, and we don't have a name. And I was like, what? Oh my God, now I've got to go tell my husband, oh, by the way, I just joined a new MLM with a product you can't get, never taken before, doesn't even have a name. And I was like, this is suicide. I'm not even going to bring it up. And I hung up the phone for it. I was about to hang up the phone, and she was like, oh, it's a binary plan. I don't know anything about it. And I was like, bingo! Because anybody that's ever been on an MLM knows that the binary plan is literally Willy Wonka's golden ticket. Like, that's what you want. I mean, it is, you work with a group of people. You're not doing it all on your own. Jim didn't know this. I was like, I got to call you back. So I get on my computer, and I start researching everything. I'm going through it, reading the binary plan, trying to figure out the 400, the 600, all that crazy stuff. And I start thinking, how am I going to sell something, I can't get, I've never taken, and we don't have a name. We're just going to call it HGH gel. And I was like, well, okay, let's sell it for the opportunity, because there is a huge, huge opportunity attached. So, April 9th, the beginning of the real D-Day, no gel. So it wasn't like it was coming back. Wouldn't it come back in August? Okay. So the first people I decided to call were people that had a reason, had a want or a why. So I made like a green, yellow, and red list. My green list were people that I knew were going to jump in. My MLMers or people that understood sales. My second people were kind of people that maybe didn't have any money, but I knew they wanted an out. And then my red people were just my red people. People on there, I was like, I could call them, we'll see how this goes. So I called Bri. She's a triage nurse, she works at night. I call her at like 9 a.m. in the morning, which is like midnight for her. And she is grouchy. And I knew she wanted out because she has children as well, and she doesn't get to see them. And her husband works in the day, she works at night, and so I knew she constantly brags about being away from home. And so I called her and I said, hey, what are you doing? She's like, nothing, I'm going to bed. And I was like, how's your job? I hate it. What if I have a job that you put $200 in and I'll have you out in a year? And she's like, I'm listening. I said, okay. So what I did was I sold backwards from everybody else. Most people here are selling the gel. The gel will sell itself. Everybody's had HGH. Everybody wants it, essentially, once they figure out what it is. And it's just an easy process. And there's a 97% retention rate. So, I mean, there's 3% of people in my head that are just like, whatever. So I'm telling her, I'm like, there's this guy. He's like this little potion savant. He has made all this stuff. He's made this HGH gel for this MMA fighter and yada, yada, yada. And I'm going off and I'm telling her about Alex and I'm telling her about his story. And then I bring in, and it's MLM, but it's binary. And she's like, so? And I was like, let me tell you how this works. So I was explaining to her, I need to find people that want to work. And I know you want an out. And I know you want out of your job. And so here's how we're going to do it. If you stick with me, you and I are going to build a team together. We will basically interview people, which we kind of did. People will be like, I want the gel. And I was like, how bad do you want it? Do you just want it for the money? Or do you actually want, do you need to put your kids through college? Like, I mean, I can put you on my customer list, so it'll start in like, I don't know, August. But I mean, I'm only taking people that really want to work the business. And we did. We probably interviewed, we went from, I think in August, I had 500 people below us at that point. I've only sponsored 25, but I have 5 of those that's working. And in sales, that's amazing. So, if you can just get 5 to 10% of your people that sells, that's all you really need. But in my team, we didn't have any PV going. None of us were getting paid. None of us had gel. Not a stitch of us had gel. We were all literally talking about the opportunity. Because who doesn't want to get into a company that is making its own way? I mean, it's in the beauty market, it's in the health market, it's in the fitness market. This is everything that health companies are trying to replicate with supplements, shakes, patches. I mean, they're trying to replicate what we have. And it will put a massive dent in a ton of markets. So it's not like you can just go after like, oh, I gotta go after the people that work out 24/7. No, you can go after people that don't work out, which is me. You can also go out with people, everybody from 24 to 224. And so it is super duper simple to understand that this isn't, it is about the gel. But I think a lot of people get hung up and go after people like, oh, you have to take the gel, it's amazing. Look, you just rub it on, you throw it on, behind your knee, don't use your hands. Like, also, you're like, it looks awkward when you're telling people how to put it on, but you don't have to just talk about the gel. And if you really want this for a business, then you really need to treat it like a business. I was calculating PV for my people all day. I'm like, you're 14 bottles away from coordinator. And Jen would call me and she's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm in the middle of calculating PV for 100 people. And I would be like, count 100 divided by 140. Look, 15 bottles. And hey, your coordinator, hey, your promoter. And we weren't celebrating that at all in the company. Just me, making up great graphics and a bunch of fun stuff for my people. And yay, look, I bought you a cup. Because I had to do something for our people on our team. And when we got into August, our team, there's a cup right there, Liquid Gold Society. That's what you get if you're a promoter, which is pretty easy. But I calculated everything down for everybody. I dumbed the plan down. I was like, to get to coordinator, you just need 35 bottles on your lowest paid leg. I am your, I've got this leg taken care of. You need to find your person. It may take 15 people to get your one person, but you need to find your one person that you're going to build your business with on this leg. And then you need to find your person, on your right leg. So we really kind of brought people in together as like, we're going to do this as a group. And my whole team has sold as a group. And we sold the opportunity only. And so I just want you guys to understand that even though the gel helps everybody, and it's awesome, and it's amazing, and it stretches across a bazillion markets, don't get bogged down in like forcing the gel on people. Don't force it. Just realize that sometimes people want the opportunity. Some people may just want it for the extra $10 off. But most, if you really get down to helping people and really wanting to help people, you can help them feel better. But a lot of people want an extra fun job. It's fun. It's not awful. An extra fun job to help people and help themselves. And so my team, I mean, I have electricians on my team. I have teachers on my team. I have single moms on my team. I have doctors on my team. I have business people on my team. But I have people that think outside the box and people that really want to use this opportunity to further themselves for whatever it is. And so that's basically how Liquid. I do. Oh yeah. How's Marion, Brian?
She's right here. That's not what we asked here.
Yeah. No, she's doing great. She's doing great. One of my biggest sellers on my team, killing it. And people have happily surprised me. I've put people in my red columns that are straight to the green. Like 3 days later, I was like, surprising. So don't always think that it has to be like gel. You can, if you really put your mind to it and really build this as a business, then it will in turn, I mean, your money will work as hard as you do. So that's my story. I forgot, I don't have a good ending.
Impressive. Thank you. Guys, what are you noticing here? We've got a lot of very